Before the separation of the magical realm from the physical, and before the creator god Arek, the Absolute, departed our realm to create new worlds, was judgment. For eons, the gods of courage and terror, of life and death, of order and chaos, and of fertility and destruction, fought one another for the right to rule the earth. The judge of these cycles was the dual blade, a sentient sword that was as old as the earth itself, and one that can slay the gods. The dual blade would sense the strength and will of the gods, and side with whomever was strongest, thus ensuring a quick victory. And because of the worship of the goodly gods by the peoples of the earth, the good gods always won. In each cycle, the slain gods would resurrect to do battle once more. However, the evil gods, tired of their losses and because of their lust for power, devised a new plan. They would sow discord among the peoples of the earth. They would recruit the more cowardly and hostile races, such as the goblins, orcs, and even humans with wicked desires. But this was still not enough. So the evil gods created abominations from tormented spirits, and twisted the flesh and minds of existing creatures. And they sent them against the humans, goodly beasts such as unicorns and dragons, and against the elves, who above all desired peace so much they lived in seclusion in magical forest, hidden from the rest of the world. The peoples of the earth cried out to the goodly gods for aid, but none came. Prayers were sent up to the minstrels, as they were called, but no answer fell from heaven. This is because the goodly gods were fighting their own battles, indeed fighting for their very lives. But because they did not answer, the peoples of the earth lost faith in the goodly gods. And as they lost faith, the minstrels grew weak. For the minstrels' power lied in the faith the peoples put in them, as was ordained by the Creator, Arek the Absolute. And eventually, one by one, the minstrels were slain. The evil gods, having gained their first victory, celebrated as they began their first 1,000-year reign. As only 100 years later, Irem, the goddess of the domain of death, was called to the throne room of Arek the Absolute. What she witnessed would change her existence for eternity. For there, in its timeless pedestal, sat the dual blade. But instead of resting, it was ringing. And Arek, who had not cared enough for his creation to become involved in its welfare, took notice. And he gave a command to Irem, "Find the one for whom the dual blade rings." And so the world's century of peace, wrought by the sinistral century of celebration and depravity, would be cut short. And to find him she did. Iris, being the alter ego of Irem, guided the champions of humanity and the champion of the elves to the judgment of the dual blade. Through many battles, after barely surviving battle with the god of destruction Gades, Maxim and his companions gained the strength and skill to overcome their enemies. Through her interactions, the goddess of death learned the power of emotions, and especially of love. Something stirred in her heart that she had never felt before. It was warm. She began to feel things she'd never felt before, and it left her confused. And after Maxim slew Gades, she knew a new emotion, fear. It came to pass that Maxim met face to face with the leader of the evil gods at the peak of the third tower of fate. Powerless to stop the tyrant god of terror, Dawas, Maxim and his companions were left nearly slain. But Maxim crawled across the stones in defiance of this evil, and out of love for his family. Daos, god of terror, lost his grasp on the dual blade. For the dual blade resonated with Maxim's soul, empowered by determination and unconditional, undying love. And, to the shock of both Maxim and Daos, the dual blade appeared in the hands of Maxim. Outraged at the dual blade's betrayal, and out of fear of the dual blade's power, Daos fled the towers, but not before he sent the champions of the earth one final challenge. "Come find me at my shrine, my fortress of doom." And so the champions did. As the city of industry, Euclid, was besieged, the champions took to the skies in their airship, the Excellion. As the humans and elves fought on the ground and were quickly losing, the people put their trust not in the minstrels, but in their champion. To speak as the old story is told to children around the hearth, as if it were a bedtime story, Without warning, an island suddenly appeared in the sky. 4 evil gods claimed it for themselves and sowed suffering and death across the world. Their reign of terror seemed to them unending. The people were horrified and feared the Sinistrals greatly. In desperation, the people of the earth called on the valor of their bravest fighters, Arte, the elven paladin, Guy of Tanbel, the warrior Maxim of Elseed, and the sorceress captain of the Parslite army, and Maxim's wife Solana, and so began the final battle. How will this story end? Step through the gates of the Fortress of Doom and see for yourself, champion.